Hello everyone, and thanks for taking a moment of your time to learn more about webjar. So what's webjar? Webjar is a full stack executable Java web application that ships in a single jar file. This jar file contains all the dependencies it needs for the application to run. It's a versatile framework. It's great for prototyping because it lets you serve the same content on different templates. It's extensible. It allows you to be able to add your own functionality to handle your unique requirements. So webjar, in a nutshell, is an application that runs on a JD web server. It uses Jersey for the REST API, uses Spring DI, dependency injection, and Jackson for a JSON. It uses SQLite for relational data and Couchbase for document data. It uses on the front end Vue.js and jQuery, and of course Bootstrap with font awesome. Let's head over to the documentation and see how to get the application up and running. So the philosophy of this framework is to give as much power as possible to the user to manage their own content and take away the plumbing that comes with setting up and running a web server, which it does pretty well. It serves content using a RESTful API, and the user's main responsibility is to provide and apply the necessary bindings between UI elements and the underlying JSON data. So to begin the installation, you need to download a few artifacts. The artifacts are located in SourceForge. This is what is there at the moment, and you don't need this because this is you need this only if you want to embed the framework in your application. This is the single jar file that contains all the dependencies the application needs to run, but it also needs some assets, so it is not sufficient. So what you need is this zipped file, the 53 meg, and the assets are located in the assets zip file, 4.3 meg. The zip files correspond to the two tar files here for assets and for the binary. So your preference, choose either of the two. The archetype, you don't need it. You don't need this unless you want to generate a project, which we are not doing. These two are version 1, which you can disregard for now. I downloaded these two and placed them in a demos directory to use for this tutorial. Alright, so once you get the zip file for the binaries and for the assets, let's unzip all of them and have something like this. So I'll come here and I'll just straight away extract here. So we have the www that has the assets, and then I'll come to these binaries and I'll extract here too. Here we need to go to the dist folder and we need to cut all this, move it to the root. So this should be empty now, so you don't need this. The one thing which you would need to make sure you do is take a look at the application config. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna open it with mousepad over here. Make sure this value is set to false, and that way the application will start afresh. Change these values here to match what to match yourself, your yeah. All right, we don't need SSL enabled, so we can disable that for now. All right, so I'll close this, and I think that is all we need. And let's see what this says. So this is what we have. Okay, so if I come here and compare these two, I'll narrow this a little bit. There we go. So if I come and compare these two, I see I have the tools that I need. And something else you need to also watch out for is for the SMTP server, you need to generate an encrypted username and an encrypted password that matches you. Those instructions are provided in the documentation right there, mail config. I'll let you read that. Okay, moving on. These are the application configuration parameters that are available, and you can override in the application config properties file. For now, the defaults will just be fine. You can override them using VM arguments that way, or you could override them using program arguments that way. We're not doing any of that for now. So our next natural step is this one here. So I will come over here and open a terminal, and I will navigate to the demos directory. So there we are, and all I need to do is to run java -jar, and then we have that you need to run java, execute the jar file, and when I hit enter, you'll be prompted at some point for a default admin user or password. So let's say I just put admin for the purpose of this demonstration, and there we are. We have a server started, and it's listening on port 8081. So if I come here and to the browser and go to port 8081, there we go. We have our landing page, and this is using the grayscale theme that is provided by Bootstrap. There isn't much that is going on here. This, if you look at the down here, if I highlight this link, it's pointing to home, so that will take me to the blog. So again, here there isn't much going on for now. This takes me to the About Us page, takes me to the contact us page. There's an interesting page here called dynamic. I will not talk much about this at this point, but this is how you hook up dynamic pages to your application. And then there is an admin link. This again you add for your own convenience. You could choose to add it or not, and type in the if you look at the address again down here, it is /admin/home. So you could choose to type that manually here, or provide a link for yourself to click on it. You click on it the first time, it will detect you're not logged in. It will prompt you for your credentials. So whatever you used during the initial setup for your admin username and password, you will provide here. You log in and you are in the admin section, and at this point you can be able to start managing your web content. I will not again go into details at this point of how to get to work on this page. I will save that for another tutorial, but for now that is how to get those are the steps you need to get the application up and running. Alright, thank you for viewing this video, and look out for more videos describing how to administer the website. Thank you.